You have questions, have a lot of questions. We've cooked a perfect Zerwas, but how do we turn that into a perfect sauce? I'll show you that in this video. Welcome to CALLEkocht. Cut. Action. Oh, that's delicious. Here it is, our frozen Zerwas. Really nice in these ice cube trays. So now we can just press it into the pot. I showed you. For those who haven't seen it yet, the video is being linked again right here. No, it's over there. So the juice is perfectly cooked, frozen, and always available. And now we want to make a nice sauce out of that. No, not one, we're making 3. Super easy. I think the most important thing would be, for example, a cream sauce. For that we need a roux. And instead of the usual cream, I have a bit of crème fraîche here. Or how about a pepper sauce? We also need a bit of butter for that. I have an onion here on the board, peppercorns for thickening. In this case, maybe some cornstarch. And we'll flambe the whole thing with a light brandy or a French red wine sauce with a bit of thyme. And we can refine it even further if you, for example, have butter and onions already in the pot. A few brown mushrooms or morels so we can head in the direction of a mushroom sauce, or butter, onions, and a bit of mustard. Then we have a sauce Robert. And we're starting with the brown basic sauce. For our brown basic sauce, we first add 30 grams of butter for half a liter into the pot and let the butter melt. Now we're going to make a roux from that. So once the butter has melted, we can add the flour. One small problem with this roux is that since we want to make a brown sauce, it might be too light for me right now. That's why we're just going to make a brown roux. And it's as simple as it gets. We just let the roux sit in this pot until it takes on a very light color. That's how Grandma would have done it. So you can clearly see a noticeable coloring here. That means the roux is now slowly turning into a brown roux. And the whole kitchen smells of this nut butter. And I think since we're also adding crème fraîche, that's more than enough. So that means the first part of our sauce is already prepared. Now we just need the juice. And now comes what I love so much. We can just break our Zerwas out of here and add as much as we need. In this case, we need half a liter. And in between, stir it every now and then. Because it's good for the roux if we don't add everything at once, but rather a little bit at a time. This way we can make sure that no lumps form here. And just look at the color already. We're topping it up with half a liter of Zerwas. So I think you can see our brown sauce quite well. It's starting to boil slowly now. It obviously takes a bit of time when you add frozen Zerwas. And as soon as it comes to a boil, we turn down the heat and let it simmer on low for about 3 to 4 minutes. About like this, so that the flour we have in here gets cooked. And right at the end, we add our crème fraîche. Of course, you can also do this with a splash of cream. And you can definitely enhance this brown sauce with different spices. E.g., if it were a goose sauce, you could add a bit of mugwort. Or for a provincial sauce, you could use thyme and rosemary, just as you like. This is the first basic sauce. Now let's move on to the French red wine sauce. For our red wine sauce, we add a little olive oil to the pot, and then a finely chopped onion. And we're going to saute the onion first. And as I always like to do, I season it a bit with salt and pepper at this point. And the salt draws a bit of moisture out of the onion. It should be sauteed until it's translucent. Ah, it's starting to smell good. And how do we turn a simple brown base sauce into a French red wine sauce? By adding a good red wine. In this case, I have a Merlot. Here. And for half a liter, I actually use half a bottle of red wine. Should reduce now. And basically, we want to get the alcohol out. And the essence, so the flavor of the red wine, should be intensified even more by reducing it. The red wine is reducing quite a bit. I have a recipe for a beurre blanc on my channel. That's basically, if you will, the white wine reduction. It is just whipped with butter. We're adding a bit of juice here, and the butter will still go in later. So look, when I go over the bottom of my beautiful Hofmann pot with my silicone spoon, You can already see a bit of the bottom down there. That means the red wine is almost gone. And we already have a slight thickening in here. That's of course due to the reduction itself. And also to the onions that are helping out here. Look, it's getting really thick now. This is the right moment. And now we're adding our Zerwas. And again, it's from our frozen stock. And now we're going to bring this to a boil and reduce it once more until we have the perfect result. And at this point, we can already add half a teaspoon of thyme. A sprig of rosemary would be great here too. I'm leaving the thyme in. We should take the rosemary out again. For a cream sauce, you count at least 0.1 liters per person. With a Zerwas, it's a bit different. Half of that is enough again because it's so strong we only need a little sauce mirror. Speaking of sauce mirrors, Yusan, let's make the pepper sauce. It goes just as quickly. We're adding butter back into the pot. And in the butter, we can already saute the onions. And here in this example, green pepper is the most important ingredient. And the green pepper, this one here, we want to crush it again. I have this beautiful mortar made of olive wood. And in there, I'm crushing the peppercorns. If you make a pepper sauce with whole peppercorns, you're not doing your guests any favors. First of all, the sauce has little flavor because the peppercorns need to be crushed. And when you bite into a peppercorn, it's just too spicy at that point. So the red wine sauce is continuing to reduce. And here my onions and the butter are nicely sauteed. I'm adding my crushed green pepper on top and sauteing it a bit as well. Also support that here with salt and pepper. The black pepper emphasizes the green one even more because the green has a different spiciness than the black. Once that's nicely sauteed, then comes the most exciting part. Then we want to flambe. Bang! And just like that, all the alcohol burns off and the aroma stays in the pot. Please don't do that under the extractor hood. So just let it burn off. And then the juice is added, so it's all done. And all the aroma is now in the pot. Our brown Zerwas with the base sauce on top. And we'll let that reduce down. So our pepper sauce has also gotten a slight thickness from the onions. And of course from the reduction. But here I'm adding just a tiny little splash. Cornstarch. Attention, if you're working with cornstarch, you should always make sure to add just a little bit. You can always add more, but it would be such a shame to have to thin out such a nice sauce again. That's why you should work your way in slowly. And you saw the little bit that I just added is already more than enough. Pepper sauce. That's how quickly good cooking can be. Look at this reduction. It's already perfect just from the reduction. Now we're going to add a few pats of butter and work them in a bit. That gives the sauce even more shine. But no flour, cornstarch, nothing. Just the onion, the red wine, and the juice itself. Pure flavor. A little tip. Even though the red wine is reduced quite a bit, it still brings a little acidity with it. If this is too sour for you, just add a little touch. Brown sugar. Minimal, just to take the edge off the acidity. So, take a look here. That's a sauce. Like from the old French kitchen. Simply perfect. So, we have almost everything ready. Our 3 examples. We're still missing some creme fraiche, or just a little splash of cream. Add everything at the last moment. And now take a look at the color. That's cream sauce, just like we expect. We're just missing the boiled potatoes or the dumpling. I've shown this in an old video before. If you want to try a sauce like this, you should always take a small plate. Because on one hand, I can now put my sauce on the plate, and I can see exactly if the consistency is right, if it has shine, if there's maybe something in it that I don't want. Put the other sauce right next to it. Look at the color difference. This is the red wine sauce. And here I also have the pepper sauce. This way I can check out everything I've cooked. And the best part is I can try it now. Without burning my mouth. Pepper sauce. Oh yes, it's got a kick. Just as it should be. For the pepper sauce, a nice, quickly seared piece of meat. Red wine sauce, of course, goes great with a braised roast. That's just wonderful. And here, this could be Grandma's pork roast sauce or game sauce. Perfect. Sauces can be that simple. Grandma's cream sauce, brown pepper sauce, and red wine sauce. Have fun recreating it. Bye. See you soon, your color. Bye, my dears.